back again with another exciting episode of Rick's Horror Movie Review Show. That's Rick's Rated R Horror Movie Review Show, where we review, of course, horror movies. And in tonight's episode, we review Insidious, The Red Door. This movie has demons. No Catholic Church, but it has demonic possession. Demons in someone's attic. In the basement, perhaps. Maybe even in your loved one. I've loved the previous Insidious movies to some degree, not all of them. I think they've all had an interesting thing to share or add to the genre. In this episode, we're going to talk about the things that I liked. We're going to talk about the things I didn't like. We'll do an in-depth plot review, an in-depth plot review and analysis, and then we're going to give this movie a rating. Let's get started. I don't want to drag this one on too long because I felt like the movie dragged along enough, and I don't want to waste anybody's time the way that movie wasted mine. At the end, we'll give this movie a review. So I'll talk about the things I enjoyed. But first, this is new for us. This is new for the show. We have a sponsor this evening. Let's see here. The things I liked is sponsored by the Like Button Association of America. The Like Button Association of America is responsible for all liked web content all around the world. This includes websites, web apps, and phone apps. To learn more about the Like Button Association of America, please visit the Like Button Association of America webpage at www.likebuttonassociationofamerica.com. You can also visit their social media on Instagram at Like Button Association of America. They also have an X and formerly Twitter page at Like Button Association of America. And if you have Facebook, they also have a Facebook page at Like Button Association of America at Facebook. Okay, well, thank you very much for the sponsorship, Like Button Association of America. We really, really appreciate it. The things I liked. Sponsored by the Like Button Association of America. Demons. Demons are always good. Demons are essential in a horror movie. Now, not all horror movies have demons, but the ones that do, tend to be interesting films. There's demonic possession. That's also good. There are also things and lore established, like the things like The Further. The Further, not just as a story element, but also as a visual storytelling tool, which I think is also very awesome. Established, obviously, in the first movie and used in 2, 3, 4, and now eventually 5. If you don't know this, Insidious, The Red Door. And by the way, this is a spoiler full review. If you don't like it, then this is the point where you should jump off the boat. So it's established. It's using established lore of The Further. The Further essentially, and I'm not going to do all this fucking homework for you, but I'll set it up for you. The Further is essentially a place, kind of like purgatory is the way as I understand it, and a place for souls to sort of wander before they move on to a better place. And that is also present in this movie and used as a plot element. And this is the one thing that I think I enjoyed the most about this film. I've never seen this, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody has ever seen this in other movies before. There's time travel in this fucking movie. That's right. They fucking put time travel in a horror movie. Now, if there's two things I like in this world, is time travel and horror movies. And if you put those two together, my goodness, I mean, I can only imagine how good a movie could be. Now, I didn't know that there was going to be time travel in this movie, and I'm fucking spoiling it for you right now. But if you haven't seen this fucking movie right now, well, too fucking bad, because this movie's been out for a while now, okay? But yeah, there's time travel. Maybe there isn't, and I just understood it as time travel, because the fucking story is convoluted as fuck. But anyway, let's talk about the things I didn't like. I didn't like the story. Dalton, Josh, I think it's kind of played out. I guess it's more of a cash grab and it fucking worked because we saw it, right? I didn't know that this movie was going to focus on just, what's their name? The Lamberts? Is it Lamberts? Is it the Lamberts or Lambert? Lamberts or Lamberts. Or maybe it's French. Lamberts. Is it Lamberts? No, I think it's Lamberts. But this story focuses on the Lamberts again. If you haven't seen the first movie or the second movie, those two also focus on the Lamberts. And I thought the Lamberts were already pretty played out by the end of the first one. Honestly, I don't know that we needed the Lamberts again in the second one, but we got more fucking Lamberts in the second one. Didn't get any Lamberts in the third, which is a really good thing because I think the third and the fourth movie are actually the best in the series. So there's 5 parts. You got the Lamberts in the first 2, and then you have Elise and the Ghostbusters or the Ghost Hunters or the Ghost Catchers. I don't know. Those fuckers were funny. And then we got the Lamberts again. Anyway, story's pretty lame. Nothing new essentially is added in the further as, a storytelling device. It's been established. We know what the further is. They travel into the further. They do their further thing. And then they come back from the further. Either they come back or a fucking demon comes back in their body from the fucking further. So nothing new was added. Nothing interesting of note. So I didn't really like that. I think that they had established a pretty good idea of what the further was. But give me more. What else can we do in the further? Well, actually... the thing is that I guess I don't know if they did this intentionally, and I may be wrong. Maybe the time travel that I'm talking about is a new element added to the further, but I think it just happened by coincidence. I don't think necessarily that it was written as part of that. All right, guys, we got a tough audience out there, and they're pretty smart, tough cookies, and they're gonna be pretty tired if we just give them the same old shit. So anybody got any ideas for what we can do with the further? Johnson, yeah, you always seem to have good ideas. You had the idea of what was that? The good colors from Mexico. Go ahead, Johnson. Well, maybe we can time travel to the further. I reckon I've never seen time travel done in a horror movie before. Maybe we should do that here. Now, if it did happen like that, kudos to Johnson and the writing team for adding time travel as a plot element to be used in the further. I don't think that's the way it happened. I'm still confused. Maybe it wasn't necessarily time travel. Maybe it was just a fucking vision pretending to be time travel, but who fucking knows? It's in there somewhere. At least in the Ghost Hunters, as I mentioned, completely fucking ignored. They're in some throwaway cameos, which are useless, honestly. They're in a fucking YouTube clip. And I thought that was really weak because they were the main characters of the 4th and the 5th movies, which I thought were actually far better in terms of story than the first. Maybe not necessarily far better than the first, but certainly on par with the first. Definitely much, much better than the second one. So they were in the 3rd and the 4th. I said 4th and 5th. Caught my own mistake there. Yeah. No, they were in the 3rd and the 4th film, and now relegated to a fucking YouTube cameo in the 5th. How horrendous. That's so unceremonious. Anyway, I hated that. Rose Byrne, the actress who plays I forget her name, but she's a part of the Lambert family. She's the wife, and that's sad to say because she's so funny. She's such a great actress, and she's relegated to this shit role of being the wife of this dude who can astral project, and the son who can also astral project. I thought she was so underutilized in this movie. It was it's fucking terrible. And of course, I hated the fucking ending. It was horrible. It was just lame. I mean, there's no other word to describe it. Now let's fucking get into the the meat of the story. Not the nuts. That's a story for another time. Let's get into the meat of this story. And of course, the story takes place not in 2020. Not in 2020, but it takes place in 2019, of course, because nothing interesting happened in 2020. This movie, I think it's set now at this point 10 years or 9 years, or something along those lines after the first movie. And of course, Josh doesn't remember anything of the fucking first movie or any of the events that happened. He doesn't fucking remember the further. He doesn't remember any of that shit because the way that the first one began, all that shit's been repressed, and he doesn't remember any of that shit because why would he need to remember? Why would he need to remember all this horrible shit that he did where he but definitely tried to kill his fucking family? Yes, let's just have him forget all of that stuff, and he does a really good job at doing that, huh? But we're gonna follow the fucking story. Okay, So Josh forgot everything. Okay, it's just the story, man. Alright? Just let the story happen. This is just the story. Don't get all upset. Alright, fine. I won't get all upset. So Josh forgets everything. The further has been repressed. Of course, he's now divorced also from Rose Byrne, his wife in the movie. I don't think her name is Rose, but I forget her. His mom, I think, also recently passed away. Another important character from the first movie and somewhat the second movie, and also relegated to now just being dead. And the meat of the story is essentially now this at the beginning of the movie. And by the way, I saw this movie in 2 parts because that's how much I didn't like it initially. I had to pause it halfway, and then I did something else, and then I saw it again. But his relationship with Dalton, is it Dalton? Is it British? Is it a British name? Hello, Dalton. Hello. My name's Dalton. I'm from the UK. So his relationship with Dalton, it's pretty shitty. I don't fucking know why. Do they explain it? I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. I thought I was, but if they did, it's news to me. Anyway, they have a shitty fucking relationship. And as things tend to be done in the United States of America, they're off to college. And, there's this feeble attempt by the dad to patch things up with the old son. But, Dalton's not having it. He's got the iPod. Don't talk to me, Dad. I've got my AirPods on. I'm listening to my music. All right? I don't want to talk to you right now, Dad. All right? Just give me some space. All right? All right? Anyway, he gets dropped off at college. And, whatever. Oh, and by the way, take a guess where he's going to school. Well, not where, but rather what he's doing. In the year 2019, where fucking rent is fucking sky high. Mortgages are sky fucking high. You know what this fucker's studying? Yeah, art. That's right, America. You want to make a living in this country, go study art. Now, if you study art and if you love art, more power to you. All right? Just joking here. All right? Anyway, he's studying art. He's an artist. He's quite the painter. And so he's going off to art school. And, we see him, I think, in must have been his first art class. And by the way, there's this like a scene before this where he meets his roommate, or, maybe not his roommate, but his building mate. Her name is Chris. Anyway, we catch up with Dalton, and now he's in his very first art class where he meets his teacher, who's a badass, and just fucking telling everybody that anything they've ever drawn before is shit, because she didn't teach them technique, and if they try to use anything they've ever learned before, they themselves are shit. You're shit. You try to paint. You don't know what you do. Okay, I teach you to paint, but first you must forget shit things you learned before. She's not actually Russian. Not that was an accent, but or rather a Russian accent. That was generic, non-American accent number 1. Anyway, she's going to teach them how to paint correctly. And anyway, in this fucking class, the first thing this dude does is fucking paint a painting of, guess what? Fucking Red Door. Can you fucking imagine that? Without knowing, supposedly, because all this shit's been repressed, just like all the shit that his dad has. All this shit has been repressed. This fucker magically paints the Red Door. All right, dude, just follow the story, bro. All right, just roll with it. Fine, he paints a Red Door. It's part of the story. It's all magical. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just, it's his subconscious, right? Yeah, bro, now you're getting it. It's his subconscious. That's right. Okay, so his subconscious tells him to paint the fucking Red Door. Anyway, at the same time that this shit is happening in college, or around the same time that this shit is happening in college, Dalton's dad, Josh, is playing the memory game. Welcome to the memory game, where we try to remember things. And he's taping pictures of, I think, his family members on his, one of his windows in his house. And this is actually a really cool scene because they tease a ghost. Good plot element, potentially a jump scare, which I don't necessarily enjoy it, but when it's done well, you know, if it's overused, I hate it. But when it's done well and you're sprinkling them in there, good, you know, I like that. So they tease a ghost, you know, so Josh is you know, taping, or has already taped, I should say, pictures of his family members, and he's trying to pair them up. If you've ever played the memory game, that's what you do. You're trying to match shit up. And he reveals one face, and obviously the window now becomes view. The window, we can see through the window towards the outside of the house, and we see the figure. We see the figure of a man, a mysterious man, or we think it's a man. We don't know yet. And, you know, then he tries to pair something up, and obviously he doesn't get it. And he tries again, and sure enough, the mysterious man is now getting closer. Just a little closer. And he continues to play this game of memory. And when you think that the next time he reveals a window to look towards the outside, you think that man's going to be there, right? You're kind of waiting for that jump scare. But you know what? They wrote this so well that he wasn't. Okay? And I'm totally ruining it for you. If you haven't seen this, too fucking bad. Go watch it. But anyway, there is sort of a jump scare because anyway, there's totally a jump scare because the character, the ghost winds up being inside the house. Okay? So that's exactly what winds up happening. So we don't actually get the jump scare we're expecting. We get an unexpected jump scare, which is good. Well done. Very well done. And a long story short here. Why am I talking about this so much? Well, because it's a jump scare and it was kind of fun, but also because this person actually turns out to be Josh's dad, or the ghost of his, or Josh's dad's ghost person, who is Dalton's grandpappy. Hey, Dad, is that my grandpappy that just haunted you? Yes, it's Josh's dad. Anyway, Josh begins researching his father, of course, and now he realizes that his papa killed himself, which he didn't know because he was in a mental institution, right? And of course, at this point, do we know whether or not he was actually crazy, or was he part of like the in-universe crazy, or we know what's going on? Does he actually have visions? Can he actually travel to the further? It's a family gift that clearly Josh had, Dalton had, and now the dad had. But of course, I think maybe they thought the dad was crazy, so he was institutionalized. And anyway, he's dead now, right? Okay, so, you know, all of this shit is revealed, and he goes and he talks to his wife, and she's like, well, you know what? I got some shit to tell you, bro. You were fucking doing some evil fucking shit like 10 years ago, man. You tried to fucking kill us, and you had this fucking crazy ability to leave your body behind and start like this astral projection bullshit, and it was fucked up as fuck because I didn't know if you were making that shit up, or if you had mental health issues that weren't being, taken care of. But you scared the shit out of us, and hell, you tried to fucking kill us. And of course, Josh is like, what? Really? Wow, that's news to me. But anyway, you know, all this to say that he now convinces his wife, because obviously his wife knows, what he's capable of. He convinces his wife to fucking go back into the furnace. But there's a reason for this. Okay, I got to go back a step here. The reason for all of this shit is because he now knows, and we sort of have seen this already. Dalton also has the ability now to go into the further. Again, he mysteriously figured out how to do this at some fucking lame-ass college party that he went to. What was this fucking thing called? Oh, God, not a sorority, but the other one. Frat. He was some fucking lame-ass frat party, and he saw some fucking ghosts there. And him and Chris were like, well, you know, I can totally do this kind of cool thing where I can just project my body outside my body, all right? And so he does it. Does it by mistake, but somehow he's just magically super fucking good at it because obviously he's a fucking super talented artist, right? So now he goes into the fucking further. Okay? Yes. Yeah, that's exactly how it's happening. This dude who had no idea how to fucking do this shit. Yeah, who wrote this shit, right? No idea that he had this fucking ability to go to the further. Paints this fucking red door that magically, you know, the demons use or you use to go into the further or come from the further or go to the further or perhaps just peek at the further or peek from the further. Okay? Don't quite understand all the shit yet. Anyway, he does astral projections, and now this fucker's in the further. Like, holy shit. Fucking prolific artist, and also prolific astral projector. So he's in the fucking further now. Okay? And then what he sees? He sees the demon from the first movie. You know that fucking red-faced one? That's right. If you haven't seen the first movie, too fucking bad. There's this fucking demon who, by the way, back then was really fucking scary. And that's when, that's when we get the time travel. But was it time travel? Or was it just a memory? And he's just accessing memory. So maybe it's Inception. Maybe it's a dream within a dream. Maybe he's not actually time traveling, but I don't know. I think it's fucking time travel. We're going to roll with time travel. So he time travels. Dalton does. Okay, he time travels to, when his fucking dad, Jaws, is like about to kill his younger self. Yeah, paradox, right? Grandfather paradox. If you don't know what the grandfather paradox is, you fucking better research that shit. Go look it up right now. Pause this shit and go research the grandfather paradox. Okay? Because I'm not going to explain it to you. But it's important. You must know this. Come on, we're a smart audience here. I know most of you know what that is. Don't feel bad if you don't know. Grandfather paradox. It's cool. It's just basic time travel. Okay? Time travel in Einstein's universe. That's a different episode. But we'll get to that. Anyway, he time travels and now he prevents himself. Or he prevents his dad from killing his past self. Which would, again, create a paradox. That's right. So he doesn't kill him. Fantastic. And this is like, whoa, at this point, this is the first time in the movie where I'm like, holy shit, that's pretty fucking interesting. I don't think I've ever seen like, if it is in fact time travel. But anyway, somehow, now Dalton that is in the fucking further. This just starts to fucking take such a shitty turn. Somehow this fucker winds up trapped under a stack of chairs. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Let me escape from this tower of chairs. I swear I'll be good. And he's trapped under a tower of chairs in the further. And then this is where we go back to Josh. And somehow Josh knows this. And he's telling his wife, hey, our son is trapped under a stack of tall stacked chairs. And I, as his father, must rescue him at once. And of course, his mom's like, yeah, totally cool, dude. Let's do this. So he does his astral thing and he joins the further. And by the way, this is like those scenes where they're carrying their little lamp and it's really smoky. And the first time you saw that, it was awesome. It's still kind of awesome, cool. Anyway, the dumbest character in the movie, Dalton. And, we like smart characters because we're a smart fucking audience. We don't like dumb characters. Now, this fucker's trapped under chairs and he's waiting for his pappy to rescue him because clearly he can't muster enough energy to exit, I guess. So while, he's trapped under the stacked chairs in the red-faced demon's lair, of course, finally, demonic possession. Let's give it up for demonic possession, everybody. Yes, thank you. So he possesses Dalton's body. And we finally get one of the most important elements in horror movie storytelling. Demonic possession. Okay, anyway, moving on. So what's these guys doing? Well, now this guy's obviously trying to kill his roommate, Chris. Of course. Why wouldn't you, it's the first thing you're going to possess is, or rather the first thing you're going to do is going to try to kill somebody, right? And of course, now Josh is in also the further. And as the demon is trying to kill Chris, Josh reaches Dalton and it's like, son, I'm here to rescue you. And removes like one fucking chair and like Dalton's like free. And it's like, oh my God, Dad, that was so awesome. You're so strong. Like, thanks for rescuing me. I couldn't do it myself. And he escapes. And then they're about to leave or some shit. But somehow, for some fucking reason, Josh stays behind because of the red door. Someone's got to keep that shit closed for some reason. Or rather, I get lost here. And explain this to me. I'm explaining this to you. But my brain's like, what the fuck's going on here? This is just dumb. So Josh stays back to hold the red door closed because the demons are peeking through. The red-faced demon is peeking through, or other demons are peeking through. And this gives Dalton an ability, or not an ability, gives Dalton the ability to escape. And of course, when our hope seems lost, all of a sudden, the red door starts to become black. Oh, what happened? You wanna know what fucking happened? I'll tell you what fucking happened. Dalton escaped the further. His dad stayed behind. And you know how they fucking shut all this shit down? by painting over that painting I mentioned earlier of the red door. That's right. All you had to do is use your fucking brain and paint over that fucking painting you painted at the beginning of the movie, and all of this shit wouldn't have happened. But no, because you're such a fucking dumbass character, you couldn't say, oh, you know, which, by the way, the teacher told this fucker, anything you've learned before, get rid of all that shit. He didn't fucking listen. Had he just fucking been a smart student, studious student, he would have fucking done it. But he didn't fucking do it. He didn't pay attention to the fucking teacher. I don't know why you're in college if you're going to be some fucking slacker. Paint over your fucking painting, forget everything you know, and everything will be fine. Had to go through fucking an hour and 45 minutes of potentially dying, potentially your father dying, potentially paradoxing things from the past into the future, potentially never existing because of said paradox, and all because you didn't paint over the fucking door. But anyway, he paints over the fucking door in black, with black, and that's it. Movie over. Then Josh meets his pappy in the further, which is kind of cool, I guess. You know, that's cool. I do like, you know, I'm a sucker for happy endings. I want a fucking happy ending. I just don't want a dumbass ending. So I do like when a character meets, you know, a loved one that he never met or they never met before, because it's fun. You know, it's cool to see that kind of stuff. We can all relate to, you know, to potentially seeing someone we've lost. And I really enjoy that, especially in a horror movie when it ends that way. So he meets his pappy and he's out of the further, and then him and, you know, his wife are like kind of cool after all this, and she's like, hey, you know, maybe you come over for dinner sometime, you know, maybe you and I hang out, do some things, you know what I mean? And Josh is like, yeah, totally. And after that, he's leaving, he's feeling good about himself, and this is, I guess this is a good thing. But we see Elise, you know, or Elise's ghost. So Josh can see Elise's ghost. And again, Elise is a really, really important character in the first movie. He unceremoniously gets killed off by the writers in that fucking movie, which is terrible. I don't know why they wrote that out, but, you know, they work her in movies 3 and 4 and barely give her any screen time in 5. But she's such a cool character. She's very lovable and commands the attention of the audience in a good way. And she's a medium, and she's just an interesting character, and she gets relegated to a YouTube video clip and like a 30-second cameo at the end of the movie telling Josh that, you know, he has like great things ahead of him, and that's it. The fucking movie ends, if you can believe it. And now time for rating. This movie did a lot of things. And it did a lot of things I didn't enjoy. It had demonic possession, which I always enjoy, but it was not very satisfying, to be honest with you. It had the further, which I do enjoy. It had that potential time travel, which I also do enjoy. But the story wound up being just too lame and just too boring for me to care about, and the ending was just really unsatisfying and lame and boring. So this movie receives a 4 out of 10. That's it. I'm sorry. You want better rating? Make better movies. It's as simple as that. Well, listen, if you're still listening, I really want to appreciate you for stopping by, or really want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for stopping by another exciting episode of Rick's Horror Movie Review Show, Rick's Rated R Horror Movie Review Show, where we review all things related to horror. Thank you very much, and until next time.